my god, he just smacked that.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys doing well. So if you've been with this channel for a while, you know I have put my camera or rental cameras in harm's way a few times. But I have never thought my camera setup was gonna get hit by a $125,000 car going like 5 miles per hour. Yeah, that was not slow-mo. That was 24 frames a second. Cinematic. So obviously that was a negative experience, but my goal in this video is to turn something negative into positive by helping someone. And I'm also gonna talk about mainly about like some of the questions that I had to ask regarding my camera / business insurance. And also I'm gonna briefly talk about like some of the camera gears I never considered getting. And lastly, I'm gonna announce my last giveaway winner along with some hints about my next giveaway. So let's talk about it. So this incident actually happened like a couple weeks ago. It took me some time to like record this because I really had to like gather some information regarding my insurance. And honestly, guys, I didn't feel like making this video because it was just such a traumatic experience at the time. It definitely doesn't give you a lot of inspiration to make this kind of video, but I believe in documenting my process and my journey, so I'm making it, along with the fact that you win some and you lose some in this industry. So we'll talk more about that. This is actually my second time recording this. The first time I recorded this actually was the night of, and I brought my camera over and I was just like really troubleshooting to make sure my camera was working or not working. So I do have some b-rolls from that, but I'm not gonna use the footage because yeah, that's just way too long. So I'm gonna try to make this video into a 15-minute or less, so I can say 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in your camera insurance. Seriously, guys, this could actually save you money in the long term. So let me tell you exactly what happened. So I was helping a friend of mine. His name is Caleb. He's a local filmmaker. So I was doing BTS photos and videos for him, mostly photos, but you know, I'm a filmmaker, so I have to take video, of course. And it worked out well because I was actually reviewing a gimbal, a prototype gimbal that's not quite out yet. So luckily this whole thing happened like the last day, which was the second day of filming for me. So Caleb's client rented this really nice car, BMW i8. It's like a hybrid supercar, right? This was late at night. We've been filming like all day. We're so cold and tired, but we're like just getting through. And I was like, all right, I've taken enough like videos. Let me go ahead and switch to photos. So because I was tired, I didn't want to just like put the gimbal down on the floor and like I could accidentally kick it, right? So I'm like looking around, I'm like seeing this yellow pole, looks pretty strong and like it's yellow. So I'm just gonna put my gimbal right next to it. So I put my A7S III down and I start taking pictures with my Sony A7 IV. And this was the last loop that we're doing. So the car was coming around and
Oh my god.
yeah, there's no sound effects on that. That's exactly the sound on my camera getting hit by the yellow pole, car completely crushing it and just tumbling. That is the whole sound. It's traumatic for me, so I'm just playing it as an example. It's the last time I'm gonna play that. So when this happened, of course, like thousands of thoughts like going through my mind. The first thing I wanted to make sure was the driver okay. He wasn't going that fast. I didn't think he was hurt, but I wish I could say no one was hurt, but he did hurt his finger. So he did get a little cut or big cut because he was bleeding. If you saw the picture, there was actually some blood on the floor. Yeah, he's okay though. Yeah, the car didn't look great. I mean, like the whole thing was lifted off the ground. So because the car's so low, when the yellow pole got like lodged in there, the car was lifted. So this wheel was just like spinning. But my thought again was like, okay, he probably has car insurance on that. And I need to focus on like, all right, where's all my camera gear? So I gather all the pieces up. And instantly I noticed that Insta360 was goner. It had a cracked lens and the quarter of the body looked like completely chewed off. But the magic arm that was like holding the Insta360 camera was completely flattened out. I mean, like it's made out of metal, but it's flat. So I knew the amount of force that went onto that camera gear was quite a bit. That's when I realized, oh, is my A7S III okay? Because it looked like the majority of the blow was on the gimbal. So the gimbal was in like two pieces and it was like missing the legs. It's like amputated almost. And the camera, the lens was a 24mm Viltrox lens. Again, I was doing a review for, so this company sent me this lens for me to review, and that was on that camera. But that lens was like missing the front piece, like it was dented, it had like a bunch of yellow scuffs on it. But when I turned the camera on, the camera itself didn't read anything. It was just like completely black. No, I didn't have the lens cap on. The lens cap was gone too. And there was no way to like turn the camera off. So every time I turned my camera off, it just wouldn't shut off. So the only way to turn the camera off is take the battery out. So I left that site pretty down. I knew I had a client shoot that week, and I actually had a wedding shoot coming up too. So I was like stressing out. And when this whole thing happened, I knew A7S III was like not to be found anywhere, right? So it's always out of stock. So it wasn't something that I could like replace it right away. And I know it's horrible to say, like in my head, I kept thinking like, oh, I wish my A7 IV was broken, not my A7S III, because that's like my bread and butter on my filming business. So when I came home, like I wanted to like document like the damage. So I was able to turn the camera on without the lens. And man, I was so happy it worked. So the camera turned on, and at this point it's just at least giving me hope. But that whole entire week I tested the crap out of that camera because I couldn't go on a client shoot with that camera not knowing like all these features actually work perfectly. So spoiler alert, like this camera, yes, it had a little ding here and there, but completely fine. I'm actually filming it where now it is amazing how strong Sony cameras really are. I know they're like look fragile because they're small and they don't have a lot of like rubber pieces, but like they can take a hit. Not recommended, but I'm just saying it's not as weak as you think. So out of all this, there are several takeaways. One being like it is so valuable to have two identical bodies of camera if your business allows it. I bought my Sony a7 IV clearly to have a backup camera, but I realized when it comes to clutch, it is not gonna replace my Sony a7S III. So this is gonna be like a whole nother video of why I possibly sold my a7 IV coming up maybe. But yeah, I'm definitely considering that. And another video idea I have is like how valuable a tough memory card is. I know Sony makes those like SD card, the standard size SD card, that's tough cards, but it's a little bit harder to find the micro SD cards. So to tell you guys, my micro SD card that was inside the Insta360, it was intact. I mean, it had like a small like hairline fracture, but I thought it was gonna be okay. So I pulled it out and inserted it into my computer. And yeah, I couldn't even troubleshoot it because that SD card was like getting really, really hot and it wouldn't even read it. So it was almost like dangerous to troubleshoot it. So that's a goner. So I lost a lot of footage on that. So I was pretty sad about that, but that's okay because I was able to find two different brands of tough micro SD cards. So I'm gonna be testing those out. Spoiler alert, one of them was crap. So maybe I'll make a video about that in the future, but I want to mainly talk about the insurance part of it because that was like the biggest loss for me. Now this is not going to be like a full review of comparing different insurance policy. It's more of like raising awareness and sense of urgency for you guys and for myself. So here we go. So here are the initial questions that I had that I didn't have answers to. And the biggest question I had is, does my camera insurance cover equipment that was given to me by brands for me to do videos on, right? So technically it's a gift. I have no receipts for some of these brands, just send me stuff. We don't even email back and forth that much. So I wasn't sure if your business equipment that you use that you didn't have receipts for, does the insurance cover that? So that's one. And the second question is, because I'm not in my business premises, I wasn't sure if my coverage was the same if I was on business premises. So I wasn't even sure like if my a7S III was broken, it would have been covered. So that was the second question. So I was able to talk to my insurance agent back and forth. So I have State Farm insurance. It's called the business owner policy. So technically it's like a camera equipment insurance, but also protects your business at the same time. It's pretty standard. I got it like 4 years ago. So to answer the first question, yes, according to my State Farm agent, it is covered because let's say if you were to like buy an equipment from like Craigslist, right? It's cash, maybe it's a gift. There's no way to track that. Therefore, if you have a proof of the event, of the occurrence, it is covered. So not all insurance policy is gonna cover that. So whatever insurance that you have or you're gonna get, you wanna make sure it is covered because sometimes we do get a lot of our gear with cash, Facebook or whatever. You just never know. It's really good to have that. And the second thing you wanna check with your insurance policy is that does your marine inland policy cover the most expensive gear in your backpack or your camera gear bag? So I knew my policy covered up to $10,000 in gear loss, but quickly I found out because I'm not in business premise, that amount was actually lower. Again, I got this policy like 4 years ago. I'm just learning it now. So marine inland isn't about like going out on overseas or like, you know, filming in a cruise boat or anything like that. It's literally like outside your business premise, which all of us do a lot of. So my policy, I found out the marine inland only covers half. So it's $5,000 coverage, which is technically enough to cover one camera. But if I were to like get my backpack stolen with my Sony a7 IV and my a7S III with some lenses, like, yeah, that's not gonna cover that. So I'm gonna look into that a little bit. So the third thing is regarding deductibles. And again, this is the one that hurt me the most, because when I got this policy like 4 years ago, I didn't really think much of it. In my head, I always thought like, oh, my deductible was about like 10% of the maximum coverage of my gear loss. So it's not too bad in my head. That's what I thought until something like this happened. And this is the reason I'm making this video, guys, because you get to like think of different scenarios. And yeah, $1,000 to me now that I think of it, it doesn't make sense, because yeah, that lens that I lost, that's about $420. The camera Insta360, that's about $420. So I'm talking like $840 that's completely gone, but my deductible is too high for me to like even think about like replacing those with my insurance policy. So I did some digging around. I found this company, Full Frame Insurance, and their deductible is only $250 per piece, a piece of equipment. In fact, one of my friend, he's another filmmaker, he's been using Full Frame Insurance, and when he dropped one of his lens, which was like I think $1,500, yeah, he only had to pay $250 to kind of repair that lens. So that's not bad. Problem with that insurance, I guess, is that if you lose like your whole entire briefcase of your entire camera gear with 10 pieces in it, you have to pay basically $2,500 as a deductible. So it's not great in that instance. So I did actually email my State Farm agent and told them that, hey, I'm thinking about moving away from State Farm and getting Full Frame Insurance because their deductible is only $250. And he offered me that, you know, I looked into it and there seems to be $500 deductible policy with the exact same premium that you're paying right now. I'm like, thank you. I had mixed feelings about it. So I was really thankful that I am probably gonna be staying with State Farm, but at the same time, I'm like, why couldn't you do that before? So I was a little bit mad, but it's okay, because I'm telling you guys about it. So that policy does exist. So the premium that I'm paying right now is $325 a year. That's about $27 a month. Not bad. And so it covers up to $10,000 in terms of your gear loss, and covers up to $1 million on your liability. It's called the aggregate amount coverage. So when it happens second time, it covers up to $2 million. So 1 million piece. So that's really important to actually look into it. So make sure you actually have aggregate occurrence coverage, because imagine like something like that happening day one and then the same week something else happens. Like, yeah, that's like getting caught with your pants down. So don't want that. And that's pretty standard, guys. I'm telling you all this because like you should have like a baseline of what you're looking for too. And comment below if you have any like really good experience with like camera / like small business insurance. Have you actually broken any camera gear in the past and how much it hurt? Yeah, comment below. I'd love to know. And of course, this goes without saying, like if you don't have like camera / small business insurance, and you're doing like at least one job a month and that job's about $1,000 or more, you definitely want to get it. Like I got this insurance like when I started out, like I only had like 4 weddings that whole entire year, but I wanted to make sure like nothing's gonna like stop me from doing my passion work, and it would just be devastating for my business to just stop because, you know, something happened. And for the record, I should probably mention that the driver of the vehicle and Caleb did offer to pay for the gear that I lost, but again, like it was kind of like a funny situation, right? So I got this gear for free. So as a creator to creator, like I just couldn't accept the payment from them, because I know videography or photography, this creative journey is like a really long run. You lose some, you win some. Hopefully you win more. Speaking of winning, I'm gonna do a small like shameless plug over here. Yeah, I finally got B&H affiliate, guys. So it took me 3 times to try it. Like first 2 times they completely denied me, but I finally got in, guys. So any link that you see in the below, I'm gonna have B&H link going forward. And guess what? Sony a7S III, it is now in stock. So this whole entire video seems like not as bad, but at the time, yeah, it was really bad because it was not in stock. But ultimately, guys, if this video helps out somebody in the future, like choose out different kind of camera insurance or your small business insurance, yeah, this video is totally worth it. And you know what? We're gonna help out one person right now, and that person is the winner of the Deity D4 Duo from my last giveaway. And the winner is Alpha MedTech. Congratulations, Alpha MedTech. I'm gonna send you an email shortly to confirm your address. But those of you who did not win the giveaway, nor did you know about the giveaway actually existed, because a lot of these are hidden giveaway. I don't really announce it that much. No worries, because I have one very, very special giveaway coming up pretty soon. And the hint is that not only do you get camera gear as a giveaway winner, but I'm gonna try to offer you a little bit more meaningful things. We're gonna get to know each other a little bit better, and that's all I can say. safe for now. So stay tuned, guys. Until next time, protect your gear.
3, 2, and action.
Like I
3,
feel like
2.
I'm going this high.
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, and action. That would have been awesome. 3, 2, and action.
Yes.